There's a reason why you keep toxic friendships, suffer from a soul-killing job, and obey the orders of society. And it's the major motivator behind most of your actions. All the misery in people's lives happened, and it will happen again and again for the same reason. It's because people desperately want others to know how great, funny, attractive, noble, and virtuous they are. All their gestures, mimics, and insecure tone of voice scream as, "Please think I'm special." It's the ultimate common addiction that the whole humanity shares. Let me tell you about the interesting mystery behind being an approval junkie. If you give a little pat on the back and a sweet compliment, or tell them just how clever they are, you can easily hook most people. Just massage their bruised ego and they'll do a better one for you. But why? Why are we begging for the approval of others? Wouldn't it be a better life if you simply got rid of that self-abusing, chattering voice? You know, it always works on the back of your mind like a crazy analyst of how people will interpret or react to our actions. That's the voice that keeps saying, "What is that person thinking about me?" when you're walking on the street. That is the core reason for anxiety, stress, and misery. Until you break away from the chains of your mind, it will be there bothering you all the time. It will also prevent you from your liberation and expressing yourself to the full. Destroy your self-image. First, you need to understand this. Pleasing others is the easy shortcut that is chosen by the majority because nobody wants to pay the price of being bad. Love, appreciation, and acceptance are the bugs of all human beings. That's why the human mind always keeps looking for evidence from their environment to make sure you're getting enough of them. You want to be perceived as a goodie, a nice, a kind-hearted human being by your boss, mom, or dad. If something goes wrong, you work very hard to maintain this self-image you always possessed. This poisonous indoctrination injected into your blood when you were a little kid. If you act this way, you make mommy angry. Don't speak so, you will make auntie sad. With these kinds of feedback, you architected your whole identity in a way to get the most approval from your surrounding. As long as people are pleased by your actions, they said, "What a great person you are." And you were content with who you are because people said so. But don't get this twisted. I am not telling you to become apathetic and never care about others. Of course, it's nice to care about other people or understand their feelings. But there's a dichotomy here, because human nature is 100% selfish. Most people can't make peace with their selfishness. They think as you either have to become a people pleaser or a complete asshole. But they forget that the core reason for pleasing others is a pure social interest, which is 100% selfish. You would never do anything if it doesn't serve you in some way. You just gotta understand that this fake self-image doesn't serve you in the long term. For a while you get some love and acceptance, but it eventually leads to misery because when you're constantly concerned about other people, you can't walk your own path. Society installed a certain ego inside you so that you function properly without making any trouble. But if you never break it, you will be destined to live a limited life. Stop feeding your ego. Opinions can have power over you only if you let them. But what's an opinion? It's just a thought that comes from other people. Does it always reflect reality? No, not at all, because all human beings are error-prone. How can praises or critiques matter in this context? People don't even know your vision or what you're going through. They don't know what you want to achieve in life. Perhaps they have a glimpse of information about your life story, but that's all. They haven't walked the way with you. Negative opinions can only hurt you if you build your character through positive ones. If you have always relied on others' opinions to know what's good or bad for you, you're destined to be insecure. It's similar to making a sandcastle because you let a fragment of somebody else's imagination control your life. You become dependent on them on an emotional level by seeking constant validation and approval. Just like a drug addict craves cocaine, you need their approval to feel better about yourself. Most people fool themselves by thinking like, "But I'm looking for feedback from my environment." But if you look carefully, they are not looking for feedback. What they are looking for is validation and approval. They just want to feel safe by asking others. So stop this self-sabotaging habit and let your ego dissolve gradually, so you become completely independent of the good or bad opinions of others. How many great thinkers, artists, and athletes have been criticized? The majority always thought that their work is pointless. It's highly dangerous to let criticisms penetrate into your spirit. If you know a little bit about human nature, you must know it works like, if I'm in a shithole, you must be here with me. If they think they can't do it, they tell you the same bullshit story. Hurt people will try to hurt other people. Most of the time, what others think of you is none of your business. It's their problem. Why? Because it's impossible to control other people. Just look at them and pay attention a little bit. Everyone is severely self-centered with enormous egos and insecurities. If you scream on the street like a maniac, they will only look at you for 2 seconds and move on as if nothing happened. They might seem like they do care about what you're doing from time to time, but it's just acting. Most people wear masks and laugh all day, and they cry like a little baby when they return home. Maybe you devour yourself for months and years for an incident, but if you actually talk to them, you will see that they don't even remember the occasion at all. At the end of the day, those who judge don't matter, and those who matter don't judge. People who have valuable opinions don't try to tear others down. So it's foolish to take it personally when someone attacks you because it's about them. You can never control their opinions, but you can change how you view them. There's no way to stop people from generating ideas like wildfire. What if they are having a bad day, skip lunch or breakfast maybe? Perhaps they've just argued with their wife or husband. They will not see things clearly because their mind was already messed up. When your glasses are dirty, you see the world in mass. They can download a cool YouTube video, insult other people, or criticize you. Would you want to shape your reality based on this? Even if you are the most perfect human being on earth, there will always be someone disliking you. You can devote your life, but it will never be enough. Even God doesn't bother to please all people, because it's impossible to win this game. When you live by the narrative of other people, failure is inevitable because you are always shaped by their limited view. And there is more to that. When you aren't praised, you get resentful and bitter. You start questioning your identity. To avoid this trap, you have to be self-reliant first. That means you need your own guidance before others. You have to have a solid opinion about who you are and what you're doing. When you're a grounded individual, then you can consider the outside views in a healthy way. If it's garbage, you just ditch it. But if there's constructive criticism, you take the value from it. The point is you become independent of thoughts and see reality without interruptions. When you're sure about yourself, you don't need other people to back you up all the time. People worry about what others think because they need their respect, love and attention. It's how they feel valuable as a person. However, that's not reliable because you simply can't know why people say good or bad things about you. Life is too short. When you're young, you think you have all the time in the world. You care a lot about what people think of you because you're more egocentric. When you start to grow older, you realize that people just don't care about you and your decisions. So every second you worry about others steals from your precious time. Why would you waste these few precious moments for the people who give zero damn about you? You need real supporters instead of phony friendships. People need friends to forget how weak, vulnerable and inadequate they are. They need insincere compliments to feel valuable. Just a little bit of boost of ego and cover up their foolishness, and that's the reason why they're friends with other people. But you need people who will tell you the truth no matter what. Better a truth that wounds than a lie that heals. Those are your comrades who will give you real support. The people who share a common vision and goal with you and also want to see the best version of you. Loneliness is the key for self-sufficiency. People are freaked out to be alone these days. They can't even enjoy the beauty of silence. They can't be quiet long enough because they are too afraid to hear the voice inside of them start to talk. They are afraid to be lost in the parts of the unknown because it's the place where the air you breathe is combat. If you want to learn how to be self-reliant and get rid of your neediness, you have to learn how to be alone. Travel, work out, go for a hike, go to a camp, keep a journal, and eat alone where you accept nobody but yourself. Soon you will understand you are enough for yourself. It doesn't mean that you will never appreciate an company. Social relationships are great, but they will limit your potential and become toxic when you are dependent on them. If you can become your best friend, then you will be a self-sufficient person. And that will definitely increase the health of your relationships as well. The internet is a huge trigger for social validation addiction, especially in social media. These platforms break the balance of your mental clarity insidiously. When you take a break from the online attention economy, you turn back to your default natural balance. Social media turn people into reward-seeking lab rats. You get in touch with thousands of people you don't normally see in your daily life. You post a picture of yourself, and if it doesn't get many likes as you wish, you start to question your judgment and ability to self-appraise. It's also an illusional world with fake people and highly edited pictures. The hope of getting some fleeting sensation makes you scroll the newsfeed over and over again. A quick momentary rush of cognition, notification sound, or fake flattery comment keeps you in this nonsense cycle. All of this causes severe damage to the chemical balance in your brain. And finally, you can't even understand how you turn into an approval junkie. Last but not least, do your thing and let the chips fall where they may. When you start to care about what matters the most, you can't have time to worry about other people. If you have time to think about others all the time, you are officially not doing enough. The more you do the work, the less you will ask what people think of you, because you will already be too busy with your life and you will know your true worth. Life is so much simpler when you stop explaining yourself to people and just do what works for you. Remember, if you don't even put yourself first, no one will ever do it for you. So just go against the grain, take the pressure, and don't forget that you are doing it all for yourself. Because you wanna be more.